Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. It is finally time to rebuild the engine and put it back in this 216. I just got it back yesterday from the machine shop. I had everything cleaned up to start, and he painted a double block for me. He was nice enough to do all that. Got the head surfaced. Got the crank turned 10 under. Block surfaced. Board 10 over. I put new valves in it. New valve guides. New valve springs. Grounded seats to the valves. Obviously that was all him. I don't have the machinery yet to do that. But here's where we're at. I brought out my rebuild kit. And so it is quite hot out here, so I don't know if I'll get it all done today or what I'll get done. But I'd like to get started. He did say that the valve springs that were in it were, I think he said, a half or maybe a quarter inch shorter than the new ones, so they were junk. But I do have all the old parts right here, and I need to put that bearing back in also. So I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to do this yet, but we're going to get all this back together. One thing I did notice when I took everything apart is the governor was really sloppy in there. And the governor itself doesn't look bad, so I need to look in there and see if I can see anything wrong with the shaft that the governor sits on. So I'm going to try and find a way that I can get in there and see if I can get you guys in there also. And we'll see what it looks like. Alright, so it's not hooked in, it's just sitting in here. But wiggles around a little. I think it might be fine. Not 100% sure. So I think I'm just going to go with it and start putting stuff together. And I'll probably just do a time lapse. I have no idea what I'm going to do here, but I hope y'all enjoy it. And we're going to get going on this thing. Alright, so like I said, not exactly sure how I'm going to do this. So if you're not currently watching a time lapse, I must have chose to do somewhat of an explanation on what I'm doing and how I'm doing it. There we go. Pretty confident that it's not really directional. So I should probably get a hammer that'll fit in there. Me tremendously, not only to get dirt in the engine, but put the bearing in correctly. Maybe. Alright, something that I have learned to check for. Make sure this doesn't move on that shaft. It doesn't, so we're good. Just like that. Ready? Let me guess, one size bigger. This isn't an all size or one size fits all kind of wrench. It's in place, so we're good. I'm probably going to end up taking some of this back apart eventually, because I'm going to forget something, and then I'm going to remember it. I'm going to have to readjust the valves anyway, so those are bisexual. What else am I forgetting before I put in the cam? Let's see here. Governor's in. Valve stuff is in. What am I going to forget? I don't know. Let's just send it and put the cam in and see what we forget. What are we on here? Haha. I don't win yet, but I am darn close. Get in your home. Dang it. Dang on it. Okie dokie. You look here, feather marker. Aha. Since I'm sure I'll have to take that back out at some point, I am not going to bother seating that pin yet. Instead, I think I'm going to get the piston and rings out and rod and start putting that together. Alright, I'm going to try and make this work. Here's piston. Uh-oh. Okay. Got a scare there. It says 25 thousandths over on the box. I ordered 10 over, but the piston does say 10 over, so we're good. So there is the instructions that you get for the rings. Here should be the rings. And this should be the rod, which should be 10 under. Doesn't say. But I'll see. I'm probably just blind. It's supposed to be a 10 under rod. So, start getting some rings on here. Nice shiny new piston. Not for long. Alrighty. One of these. There we go. It's missing. There's some two stuck together there. There we go. Alright. Here's a ring. Here's two rings. So, I always start with the bottom one first, which is the oil ring. This one. Well, this part here. And, as you see, this centerpiece just gets sandwiched between the two of these in the bottom groove. Okay, so both of those are in the oil ring gap. Now this one will go between them, also in the oil ring gap. There we go. There's the oil ring gap. Now, these are compression rings. Now, the way that I just did those other rings is a bit treacherous on rings, so you got to be careful around these bigger rings that are a little heavier. You need a smaller ding-dang screwdriver. Here's one. Will this fit in there? Nope. Why would I? Try and knock that one down into the next one, and then pull this ring. Try to pull this ring down to the next gap. There we go. So now all my rings are in. Now I can get my rod out. Alright. Now, this piston is directional, so you want to make sure you get it in the bore the right way. The rod is also directional, so you also want to make sure you get it in the bore the right way. Alright, I've got this put together, so let me show you how I decided which way to go. So, this mark right here goes over on this side. Let me set this down so goes over here. And then you'll find a hole in your piston rod in the bottom on one side, right here. So that is there to pick up oil. So the engine will be rotating this way. And as it goes down in the oil, it sweeps up the oil and picks it up to lubricate everything it needs to lubricate. So that has to be in the correct direction, or you will weld your rod to your crankshaft. So this here will go in just like this. On this block particularly, the hole goes away from the dipstick. And no, I'm just setting that in there for now. And different pistons are different. This one shows the 10 over so you can read it looking at it from the valve side. I've seen them all over the place. It's just wherever the factory stamps it. But we are in good shape. We're making decent progress. I just remembered that I don't think, and this is the fan that's making all the noise, but I don't think that I remembered to clean up and paint the bearing plate for this side. I don't even know where it's at. It's over here on this table somewhere. Got the bearing plate out, still has the bearing in it. So I'm going to throw the crank in, hook up the rod to the crank. I tapped the pin for the camshaft in as far as it wants to go. So I'm going to get the crank put in and we'll go from there. Can't see it very well. More than likely because it's not there. Still can't see it very well, but it's timed and ready to continue to go together. So the next step is to put this bearing plate on. I'm going to pull this seal out of here first. I obviously have new ones, so I'm going to make sure everything in here is nice and clean. I'm going to put this bearing plate on. They give you 3 gaskets. You can use any from 1 to 3 to get your end plate right. I usually use 2, but we'll see what I end up doing. I'm going to continue working on this and see if we can get a bunch more knocked out tonight. Bearing plate. Now we're going to have too much end play. I'll probably have to take 1 to 2 shims out. Would you please get in there? Thank you very much. It had a gasket and a shim before. Now let's check our end play. Yep, I'm going to have to take at least 1 shim out. I like it. Almost wished I had a little more, but when I put that other one in there, it gives it a little too much. I'd rather be a tiny bit low than quite a bit too high. So, alright guys, I put the piston rod in and hooked it up to the crankshaft off camera because, well, I got that thing running and I don't know if you can hear anything over it, so I just threw that in real quick. And I was trying to work on this 140 patio and it started raining, of course, even though it's not supposed to rain for the next 2 days. So now I'm in here working on this. The issue I'm having is we're up against the crank or the camshaft right now with that rod. And it looks like the manufacturer has some extra crap on there on that seam. So I'm thinking I might just try and get that off. I can make it go past it, and it only does it every other turn because obviously the camshaft turns half the speed of the crank. So I clear right there, but I come back around, if I can get hold of the crankshaft enough to keep turning it with one hand, and it bumps into it. Not a ton, but it does. So I think I'm just going to try and file some of this extra crap off of here. You see it's built up a bit, and see where that gets me. But I'll bring you guys back in a minute. Alright guys, it's time to start putting other stuff on. Don't need a lot. You don't need to be one of those fellers that goes super overboard. Just enough to coat it. We're not making a gasket with it. That's why we need less. Not exactly sure on the torque spec for the piston rod. So let me look that up and then I'll over torque it. Alright, connecting rod's supposed to be at like 16 foot-pounds. So I did the right thing and put it to about 20. Because, you know, I don't really want it to come loose like Kohler's other torque specs. Next move can probably be to put the oil pan on, but I just realized I have not cleaned it up. Man, I am just slacking. Oh, that's right, I wanted to find a new one. Definitely haven't done that yet. Okay, so I got some work to do. I think I need to find a new oil pan. Since this oil pan is bent in and dented up, I just took the lazy route, bought another one, cleaned it up, threw some paint on it. Now I'm going to throw it on the engine. The cam gear cover is on. After I throw the oil pan on, I'm going to put the dipstick in. And going to have to adjust the valves. But I think I'd like to get the stator and the flywheel on first. I'm going to put a new stator in it. I don't have to, I'm going to. And then we can adjust the valves, put on the valve cover. Points cover goes here. Fuel pump here. Starter bolts on the block on the other side. Carburetor. And I still need to put the head on also. So let's get to it. Alright, I'm going to put the points on now. Be nice if I could change the points like this every time. Engine out and on its side. That'd be great. Too bad. Alright, points are screwed on. You guys aren't going to be able to see very well, but I now need to turn the crankshaft until the points open, or at least try to. Okay, Don't know that you guys were able to see that, but the points did open. Points gap needs to be at 20 thousandths. You got something to hold on to things. Right. And with that, our points gap is at 20 thousandths. Make sure everything is good and tight. And now I will make up a wire, hook it on here, and we'll be in shape. Alright, so I chose to take the lazy way out. Just use the old wire, nothing wrong with it. I looked it over, there's no spots anywhere that it is bad. So we're just going to use it. We'll put the fuel pump later back on. And Chinese and the gas into your oil. No, you know, these have something. Let them have so. Okay. Now that the fuel pump is on, the points and points cover are on, cam gear cover is on, oil pan's on. I'm going to put a new stator on it so that I can put the flywheel on and all that good stuff. Now, I'm going to double check that this is tight. Seems that it is. Yep, they're all tight. Now this needs to go out this way. Come on, there it goes. And this is the brand new Chinesium $30 or $40 eBay stator that I spoke about today in the live chat. The live video, whatever you want to call that thing. Fits perfectly on that ring. Sorry, my big head's going to have to be in the way for a minute so I can line the screws up. I don't know how much further we'll get tonight. It's, I think, the 10th of August. It is a Thursday. As I said today in the live stream, we will be going, not tomorrow, but Saturday, to the Steam Pike Show in Pennsylvania. I've been wanting to go to that for a few years now. I just haven't made time, haven't made it happen yet. So we're planning on going. My dad, myself, and my uncle are planning on going over there. It's like 3.5 hours. So hopefully we'll have a good time over there. I plan to make you guys a video. And if anybody's there, then by the time you see this, it'll be too late, I'm sure. But I'll maybe see some of you there. But as for now, this is how far we are along on this. The tractor is just sitting here waiting. I do need to pop these other 2 engine mounts out and put in the new ones that I bought. And find the engine mounts. They're on this table somewhere. I tried to cover stuff up a little bit because I had some sheets laying around. But yeah, I mean, there's just a lot going on in here right now. We got, well, first we got the 216. And then we got the 140 patio and the 112 side tag. And I've just been super swamped trying to get all that painted this summer and trying to get the paint to stick. So I know I haven't uploaded at this point in 3 weeks. I do apologize for that. There's just not a lot I can do. I'm trying to work on this and those in my spare time, and I keep having to wait for parts for this. I do not have enough on this for a video yet. I'm going to put a bunch of it together, put another coat of white on it, and clear it. So yeah, I mean, I haven't had enough for a video for you guys, and I can't just, well, I haven't stopped this to go do something else to make a video. I've been trying to get this together this summer, so I do apologize, but back to the winter time almost. We should have our, normally every week or two, have a video come out, bringing something in and just getting it running. And fall's coming up, so we'll be working ground, and you guys will be able to see that. But yeah, during the summer, there's not a ton. I did get some new camera mounts I'm going to try out next time I mow the yard. And again, it'll probably be before this comes out, so you will have already seen it. But next time I mow the yard, I plan to video the use of the yard rake and the sweeper and just play around. I played with it last time just a little bit, but I think I'm going to try and get some good angles and shoot it this time. So I hope you guys will enjoy that. But enough of me yapping. Sorry for the long talk here, but just trying to give everybody an update since hasn't been much going on lately. This is where we're at on this engine. I think I'm going to call it a night. It's probably, well, let me look at the time here. It's 6:05. So I am going to go tinker with something else, and I'll see you guys in a second. All right, I just put the head on, torqued it to 20. I am going to leave it sit and set up overnight, and then tomorrow I will retorque it and make sure it's still tight. So I'll bring you back tomorrow. And yes, I lied, it's still the same day. I did not go in, I ended up tinkering some more. But anyway, I'll see you tomorrow. Alright guys, it's now October 4th. We're back on the 216 project. I had ordered a new governor arm. Didn't realize that it was not different till I started to put it on. And this one has an offset to go around the muffler, and the new one doesn't. So I looked on eBay, and one of these is like 40 bucks with 10 or 15 bucks shipping. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do. It is pretty whooped. I might just put that one back on for now and get another one later. But we'll see. I did make an offer on one that I found, so I might wait a little longer. I've got 3 rib front tires on it now. You guys voted and voted for 3 ribs, so that's what I bought. The only thing I need to do to get ready in the frame to have the engine in is replace the rubbers. I bought new ones, so that's what we're going to go ahead and try and do today. I just popped out the 3 rivets that were stuck in these holes still. So now all 4 of the holes in the front are ready. I can put the new rubbers in. This rear one, somebody replaced and used screws. I'm going to replace it again anyway. I might hang on to it, we'll see. This one is some sort of custom. I got to figure out what's going on with it, and then we'll be able to put new ones in. So I'm going to try and get these off, and we're going to put new ones in. Alright, this is the last one, and there it is, off. They're not John Deere ones. They are probably a Chinese replacement. But that's what you get this day and age. You can't get anything good quality anymore. These are how the new ones came. I suppose this is the part number. Oh, they are John Deere brand. Okay. Well, they were not advertised as John Deere brand, I don't think. But I guess they are John Deere. So, I guess I fibbed to you. Sorry about that, guys. This one's deformed. You guys can see maybe the thing in there. That's why I thought it was deformed, but it is in fact not. Now, last and most definitely least is this back corner. But you see it's broke. It appears they broke the frame first time the engine was pulled, so they welded this piece on it, and now that piece is broke. So I got to figure out what I'm going to do with that, and then I'll bring you back. So what I ended up doing is bolting it back here together like it was. And then I got a flat washer and a piece of a license plate to make it even, so it's hooked together also up here. So we should be good. Now I just got to wait to get a governor or whatnot. I did call another place and he said he might have one. I'd have to go check. So that is our next step. When we get one of those, I'll bring y'all back. It's 2 days later. Just finished a parts run. This is the old governor arm. You see how wallered out that is? Here's a new one. Here's the old linkage. Here's a new one. That 216 must have had a ton of hours on it. I'm going to get these painted and we'll go in together with it. Ladies and gentlemen, I just finished putting the governor on, and I'll go over it a little bit, what I did, but iSafe Tractors has a video going over it. So basically you hold the governor arm hooked to the carb wide open, and then you turn this shaft counterclockwise to wide open and tighten this down and it's adjusted. So that's that. I'm not going to film too long because there's a radio on in the background, but that's where we're at right now. So I'll bring you back in a bit.